Okay, good morning all of you all. So we had analyzed last session chromosomal disorders. I'm sure you remember Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, Turner syndrome, and today we have a very important logic: pedigree charts and pedigree analysis. Beautiful logic. We will talk about that a little later. First, we talk about the concept of mutation. So, what exactly is a mutation? Mutation is a phenomenon which results in the alteration of DNA sequences and consecutively changes in the genotype and the phenotype of an organism. जब DNA sequences के अंदर alteration होते हैं, the genotype changes. As the genotype will change, the phenotype will change, and that is scientifically called as a mutation. Well, we have talked about it already. Mutations can arise due to a change in a single base pair of DNA, which is called as point mutation. So, single sequence of mutations called as a point mutation. For example, sickle-cell anemia is an example of point mutation. If it takes place in 3 or multiples of 3, mutations take place in 3 or multiples of 3 bases, then that is called as frame shift mutation. So, what is that called as? Point mutation. And if it is in 3 or multiples of 3, what is that called as? Frame shift mutations and deletion. And sir, what are the types of mutations that are seen in nature? Sir, you have deletion. When a part of chromosome is lost, then that is called as deletion. You had A, B, C, D, E gene here. समझो D gene निकल जाता है and it becomes A, B, C, E. Then sir, D has been mutated, which is called as deletion. Or you have duplication, that is addition of a part of a chromosome. We have A, B, C, D, E. BC undergoes duplication and it becomes A, BC, again BC and DE. So BC repeat हो रहा है and that is called as duplication. And then we have inversion, change in the order of genes by rotation. So sir, change in the order of genes by rotation. We have A, B, C, D, E and D undergo a rotation. So it now becomes A, B, C, D, E. So B and D का rotation हुआ है, that is called as inversion. And then we have translocation, that is shifting of a pair of one chromosome to another non-homologous chromosome. That is called as reciprocal translocation, illegitimate crossing over. We have A, B, C, D, E on one chromosome and we have M, N, O, P, Q on another chromosome, and what happens is A, B shifts here and M, N, O shifts here. So A, B यहाँ आ जाता है, M, N, O यहाँ आ जाता है. So what is now the new sequence? M, N, O, C, D, E. और यहाँ पर आ गया A, B, C, Q. तो सर यहाँ कौन शिफ्ट हो गया? A, B. और यहाँ से ऊपर कौन शिफ्ट हो गया? M, N, O. So what is this phenomenon called as? Translocation. So sir, you can have either deletion, you can have duplication, you can have rotation, that is inversion, or shifting from one chromosome to the other, which is called as translocation. These are the different types of mutations seen in nature. And then we have a disease called as sickle-cell anemia. We had done that. Sickle-cell anemia, we remember, is due to a lethal gene HbS. And HbS with another HbS causes sickle-cell anemia. Where is this gene located? This gene is found on your autosomes. So it is not X or Y chromosome. The gene for sickle-cell anemia is found on autosomes, and it is an autosomal linked recessive trait. It is an autosomal linked recessive trait. In other words, the gene called as HBS के सामने अगर homologous chromosome पे you have normal gene, wild gene, HBA, then the HBA gene will become dominant, HBS gene will become recessive, and that is called as autosomal recessive. And this person will become HBA, HBS. He will become a carrier for sickle cell anemia, but will not die of sickle cell anemia. So, sir, it is an autosomal linked recessive trait. The disease is controlled by two alleles, HBA and HBS, out of three possible genotypes. You have HBA, HBA, that will be normal, HBA, HBS, that will be carrier, and HBS, HBS, that is sickle cell anemia. Only homozygous individuals for HBS, HBS, HBS will show the disease phenotype. Heterozygous individuals, HBA, HBS, are unaffected, but they become carriers of the disease, and there is a 50% probability of transmission of the mutant gene to the progeny. So HBA, HBS में से HBA और HBS separate हो जाए, then this gene का 50% chance होता है to cause a effect in the next generation. Sir, how is this disease caused? A normal hemoglobin HbA gene, sir, there is a beta globin chain of hemoglobin molecule. कौन सा chain, sir? Beta globin chain. Remember, hemoglobin has got alpha and beta. You have alpha A, alpha B, and you have beta A, beta B. तो बीटा ए और बीटा बी जीन के अंदर एक म्यूटेशन हो जाता है. So which chain is affected? Not alpha but beta. And beta globin chain के अंदर what happens is this. So this is the autosome. These are 22 autosomes. उसके ऊपर the gene for hemoglobin beta chain, it undergoes a point mutation. Which mutation, sir? A point mutation. ध्यान से सुनना. Gene has in it codon, 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 codon. Sixth codon of the hemoglobin beta globin chain. तो hemoglobin का beta globin chain का sixth codon undergoes a point mutation. It undergoes a point mutation. So a normal gene is GAG-CTC. So sir, GAG-CTC and CTC is the template. CTC is the template. It will undergo transcription to form GAG, which is the codon on the mRNA. So GAG CTC template कौन है? CTC. और GAG कौन है? It is the sense DNA, sense strand, and CTC is the template strand. What will CTC undergo transcription to form GAG? What does GAG undergo translation to form a glutamine? So sir, glutamine or glutamic acid. So glutamic acid is the sixth amino acid. So 6 codons form 6 amino acid and CTC forms GAG. GAG attracts glutamic acid as the 6th amino acid. Now, this is a normal gene HbA. In a sickle cell HbS gene, the A and T undergo a rotation. तो GAG और CTC के अंदर second nucleotide AT undergoes a rotation and inversion takes place. So now this codogene becomes GPG, and this codogene becomes CAC. So what has GAG now become? GTG. GAG has become GTG and CTC has become CAC. So sir, what has GAG become? GTG, and what has CTC become? CAC. And CAC is the codogene which will form the codon GUG. So what was the codon supposed to be? GAG. What is the codon now become? GUG. C codes for G, A codes for U, C codes for G. GUG codon हो जाएगा. So GAG codon की जगह GUG codon हो जाएगा, and GUG when it undergoes translation attracts valine. If you remember, GAG had coded for glutamic acid, GUG codes for valine. So valine is the 6th amino acid in the beta chain of hemoglobin, and so that means valine is there as a substitute for glutamic acid, and that means the beta globin chain has undergone a mutation, and this mutated beta globin chain loses its oxygen binding capacity. तो उसकी ऑक्सीजन बाइंडिंग कैपेसिटी कम हो जाती है. So if you remember, A alpha binds with one oxygen, B alpha binds, A beta binds with one oxygen, A alpha one oxygen, A beta one oxygen, B alpha one oxygen, B beta one oxygen. Now if the B chains have undergone a mutation, means it cannot bind with oxygen, and the oxygen carrying capacity of the RBC becomes less. Normally, one RBC has in it 300 million molecules of hemoglobin, and each hemoglobin binds with 4 oxygen molecules. So 300 million into 4, 1200 million oxygen molecules are there in one single RBC. Abhi beta globin chain has become defective, its oxygen binding capacity is gone. That means from 1200 million oxygen molecules, remove 600 million. 600 million oxygen molecules nikal diye. So how many oxygen molecules now in the RBC? Only 600 million. Normally 1200 million, abhi 600 million oxygen molecules nikal gaye. That means only 600 million are there in an RBC. The shape of the RBC is biconcave disc shape, and that is because of oxygen saturation. Under 1200 million molecules of oxygen की वजह से the RBC is biconcave disc shape. Now, if we remove out of it 600 million, that means the shape of the RBC will become compressed and it will become sickle shape. So instead of a dumbbell shape or a biconcave disc shape, they will become sickle shape, and this disease is now called as sickle cell anemia. So what is sickle cell anemia? An example of a point mutation disease. It is an autosomal recessive point mutation disease in which AT undergoes inversion to form PA, and codon changes from GAG to GUG, and amino acid changes from glutamic acid to valine, and thus the entire gene has undergone a mutation, and this disease is called sickle cell anemia. We have another disease called phenylketonuria, black urine disease. This person will have dark color urine passing out, which is called phenylketonuria. It is an inborn error of metabolism which is an autosomal recessive trait. So like sickle cell anemia, phenylketonuria is also an autosomal recessive disorder. It's an autosomal but recessive disorder. The affected individual lacks an enzyme that converts amino acid phenylalanine into tyrosine. सर, हम लोग जब खाना खाते हैं तो हमारे फूड के अंदर फिनाइलएलानाइन होता है एंड हमारी बॉडी में एक एंजाइम बनता है which changes amino acid phenylalanine into another amino acid called as tyrosine. Now, in a person with sickle cell anemia, the enzyme which converts phenylalanine into tyrosine is lacking because of a mutation in the autosome. So autosome में mutation हो गया and that mutated gene will not produce the enzyme, so phenylalanine cannot get converted into tyrosine and the blood levels of phenylalanine will increase and phenylalanine is accumulated in the body and excessive phenylalanine gets converted into phenylpyruvic acid. So phenylpyruvic acid बन जाता है and phenylpyruvic acid goes into the brain and causes mental retardation of the person. His cognition, his ability to understand, remember, reciprocate to questions, all gets affected because of too much phenylpyruvic acid entering the brain and causing mental retardation. And these are also excreted through urine. तो यूरिन में भी phenylpyruvic acid पास होने लगता है which causes darkening of the urine and this is called as black urine disease which is called as phenylketonuria. तो ये एक कौन सा disease हो गया? This is a black urine disease, a disease called as phenylketonuria. Fine. And then we have, sir, sex-linked inheritance. Sir, when we resume classes, I will give you this extra sheet for sex-linked inheritance and pedigree analysis. So, sir, ये आपको एक sheet दी जाएगी, and sir, at the moment, understand this and please save this lecture separately in another WhatsApp group of yours for remembering these three diseases, these three conditions. Okay, ये आपके notes पे दिया नहीं है. Okay, so what are these? You have sex-limited traits, sex-influenced traits, and holandric traits. Sex-limited, sex-influenced, and holandric traits. Sex-limited traits are genes of traits which are autosomal and are found in both sexes but expressed in one sex only. So sex-limited traits are found on autosomes. The traits are found on autosomes but they are stimulated by sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone or testosterone, and these will get expressed under the action of estrogen, progesterone, testosterone and will produce secondary sexual characteristics. Secondary sexual characteristics, for example, milk glands in females. Milk glands in females, the gene is found on autosome. The gene is found on autosome, but in females, two X chromosomes produce estrogen and estrogen will go and act on the gene for milk mammary gland production and milk gland production, and that gene will help in formation of milk glands and fat deposition in the breast, in other words development of mammary glands. So where is the gene found on autosome? And who stimulates it? Estrogen, progesterone made by X chromosome. Similarly, in case of man, beard in man, the gene for beard is found on the autosome, but it is stimulated by testosterone produced by the Y chromosome. तो Y chromosome से बने हुए testosterone से the gene on autosome gets stimulated and it produces beard in man. Similarly, deep male voice. The male voice becomes deeper because of stimulation of gene by testosterone. So, sir, breast development in females, beard development in males, deepening of voice in males. What are all these called, if you remember? These are called secondary sexual characteristics. And what are these traits called as? Sex-limited traits. So these are your secondary sexual characteristics which are called sex-limited traits. And you have antlers in male deer, brilliant plumage in peacock. So deer, male and female, how to distinguish? Male में antlers होते हैं, female में antlers नहीं होते हैं. And you distinguish male and female with the help of antlers. There is a gene found on autosome. But who stimulates it in male? Testosterone, and testosterone will stimulate the gene to produce antlers in a deer. Similarly, in case of peacock and peahen, सुना है that brilliant peacock will have brilliant plumage, its feathers with beautiful colors in it. Peahen के अंदर white color के feathers होते हैं, so they don't have colors. So sir, where is the gene for that brilliant plumage found on autosome? But who stimulates the autosome? Testosterone. And that is the reason the colors of the plumage are produced in male, but sir, there is no testosterone in female, so they will have white color plumage. So sir, these are secondary sexual characteristics which are called as sex-limited traits. And then you have sex-influence traits. Sex-influence traits are autosomal genes which are influenced by the sex of the bearer. Traits appear more frequently in one sex than the other. Sex-influence genes are found both in male and female, but it is expressed exclusively in male. तो जीन दोनों में है, लेकिन मेल से वो डिजीज एक्सप्रेस होती है बिकॉज ऑफ टेस्टोस्टेरॉन. तो टेस्टोस्टेरॉन से एक जीन एक्सप्रेस होता है एंड दैट प्रोड्यूसेस अ डिजीज. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू हैव पैटर्न बॉल्डनेस अफेक्टेड बाय द मेल सेक्स हार्मोन टेस्टोस्टेरॉन. All of you observe, many of your fathers also must be having, uncle, mama, chacha must be having, as their age increases, they get frontal baldness. यहाँ के बाल चले जाते हैं, and then parietal baldness. And so they will have frontal and parietal baldness. तो बीच के बाल चले जाते हैं, they only have temporal hair and occipital hair. तो सर सिर्फ यहाँ बाल रहते हैं, बीच वाले बाल चले जाते हैं. What is this disease called as? Pattern baldness. So this is not complete baldness, this is pattern baldness. And this pattern baldness is influenced in males because of testosterone. Have you ever seen a lady who's got long hair but no hair in the front and the side? नहीं सर, ये सिर्फ मेल्स में दिखता है. Women के अंदर पैटर्न बॉल्डनेस नहीं होता है because pattern baldness is caused by testosterone. And what is this disease called as a sex influence trait. Similarly, in many males there is a short index finger. उनका index finger short होता है. And sir, if you have excessive testosterone, that causes shortening of the index finger, which is also called as a sex influence trait. And then we have Hollandric trait. By the way, what is the difference between sex-limited traits and sex-influenced traits? Both are caused by estrogen, progesterone or testosterone, but sex-limited traits are milk glands, beard, deep pale voice. In other words, sex-limited traits are secondary sexual characteristics. Secondary sexual characteristics at puberty are the sex-limited traits. And sex-influenced traits are not secondary sexual characteristics, they are diseases. They are diseases caused by testosterone. For example, pattern baldness and short index finger are diseases. They are not secondary sexual characteristics. They are diseases caused by testosterone. Sex-limited traits are found in all males and females. Sex-influenced traits are only in those males who have excessive testosterone, which causes pattern baldness or short index finger. And then you have holandric traits, which we know already are called as violent traits, and they will inherit from male to male only. Which diseases are found from male to male? If you remember, on the non-homologous region of the Y chromosome, we have gene for hypertrichosis. Hypertrichosis, hairy pinna, and that will inherit from male to male to male to male, straight line inheritance. What are such genes called as? Holandric traits. So one example is hypertrichosis, and then you have porcupine skin. Many males' skin becomes rough and thick, and that is called as porcupine skin, and that is the holandric trait. And you have PDF, testis determining factor. Y chromosome से एक जीन बनता है called as testis determining factor. Do you all remember the testes develop in the inguinal canal, in the abdominal cavity, and pass through the inguinal canal into the scrotal sac? That is brought about with the help of a factor called as the testis determining factor, which will help in the descent of the testis through the inguinal canal into the scrotum, and these are examples of holandric traits. So which are the holandric traits? Porcupine skin, testis determining factor, and hypertrichosis. तो ये वाला पार्ट का एक अलग से पेज में आपको दूंगा when we meet, but please keep this video specially for reference of these three traits. And also pedigree analysis जो हम लोग बहुत जल्दी करेंगे. You have autosomal recessive traits and autosomal dominant traits. तो बहुत सारे जीन्स हमारे होते हैं जो ऑटोसोम पे होते हैं, एंड ऑटोसोम पे वो जीन है. If the gene undergoes a mutation, then the mutated gene will cause a disease. And you have two types of expression. A mutated gene के सामने एक और ऑटोसोम है. अगर ऑटोसोम पे एक नॉर्मल वाइल्ड जीन है, then in most cases the wild gene will become dominant and the recessive gene will the mutated gene will become recessive. तो mutated gene recessive हो जाता है, normal gene becomes dominant. Such diseases are called as autosomal recessive traits. They are autosomal recessive. But कुछ diseases ऐसी भी होती है where we have a mutated gene and a normal gene. Instead of normal becoming dominant, the mutated gene becomes dominant over the normal gene. So if the mutated gene becomes dominant over the normal gene, means the mutated gene will 100% express itself, then those are called as autosomal dominant traits. तो सर अगर एक mutated gene recessive हो गया, then what is that called? Autosomal recessive trait. If the mutated gene becomes dominant, what is that called? Autosomal dominant trait. Which are these diseases? Well, nobody is going to ask you this in the NEET exam, but I'm just giving you a list. Albinism, which causes discoloration of the skin, is an recessive trait. Alkaptonuria, a metabolic disorder. Blue eyes. Cystic fibrosis, which infects the lungs and causes difficulty in breathing. Tongue non-rollers. Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's an autosomal recessive trait. Tay-Sachs disease, an autosomal recessive trait. Fused earlobe. The earlobe becomes fused. So fused earlobe, phenylketonuria, and sickle-cell anemia and thalassemia. We have already talked about all these three diseases. Phenylketonuria, sickle-cell anemia, thalassemia are autosomal recessive traits. And autosomal dominant trait, in which the mutated gene will become dominant over the normal wild gene. You have achondroplasia. The fingers of a person will not develop properly, which is called achondroplasia. Bones will not develop properly, and that is achondroplasia. It is an autosomal dominant trait. You have brachydactyly. Short fingers, brachydactyly. Brown eyes is dominant over blue eyes, which are recessive. So brown eyes is dominant over blue eyes. And then you have Huntington's disease, in which a person has nervous system disorder. And you have tongue rollers. A tongue non-roller is a recessive trait. A tongue roller is a dominant trait. And you have Marfan syndrome. You have phenylthiocarbamide PTC tasting. Phenylthiocarbamide PTC tasting is an autosomal dominant trait. Free earlobes are autosomal dominant trait. If you remember, fused earlobes are autosomal recessive. Free earlobes are autosomal dominant. And you have polydactyly, which is a extra finger. तो आपने देखा है ऋतिक रोशन, इसको थंब के ऊपर और एक थंब है, and thumb के ऊपर और एक थंब है, इसको 6 fingers. That disease is called polydactyly, which is an autosomal dominant trait. And you have aniridia, absence of iris. The iris does not develop, too much light will enter, क्योंकि pupil बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा, and that is called as aniridia, absence of iris, which is an autosomal dominant trait. So sir, ये याद रखना है, at the moment इतना याद रखना है हमें, you have recessive traits and you have dominant traits, albinism and phenylketonuria, sickle-cell anemia, thalassemia are autosomal recessive traits, and autosomal dominant traits are brachydactyly or Huntington's disease or polydactyly. All these are autosomal dominant traits. So ये भी और ये भी, this list and this list, if you can read, you can then write it down today itself. After the lecture, just write this down in your book. The sex-limited, sex-influenced, holatric traits, recessive traits and dominant traits. इसको आप लिख लो and yeah, you can just freeze it here and write it down, and you can freeze it here and write it down. And once we meet after the class, I'll give you a separate page of this. So ये note down कर देना है. Fine. So we'll just take a break and then we will do pedigree analysis.